My name is Mary Anderson. I'm a 35-year-old pharmacist living in an upscale suburban neighborhood outside Boston. I work for a major pharmaceutical company with an annual salary of $80,000. While we're not exactly wealthy, I lead a fulfilling life. My husband James earns $400,000 annually as a senior manager at an investment bank. Though busy with work, he's a wonderful husband who always tries to make time for his family. Then there's our treasure, our son Ryan. He's 7 years old and in second grade at public school. Despite having an egg allergy, he's always cheerful and well-behaved, beloved by everyone around him. On the surface, our daily life appears harmonious. However, the reality is somewhat different, especially regarding my complicated relationship with my mother-in-law, Martha. Martha is a former teacher who lost her husband 2 years ago. She's rather pretentious and image-conscious, and currently planning to move into an upscale retirement home. My sister-in-law Catherine divorced 3 years ago and now lives with Martha. Catherine works part-time in administration and is in a somewhat unstable financial situation. Her daughter Samantha is 8 years old. Though in the same grade as Ryan, she attends private school and participates in numerous extracurricular activities, basking in her grandmother's absolute devotion. We belong to the same community, see each other at church, and spend holidays together. However, each time, I notice the different treatment of the grandchildren. There's an invisible wall I feel, especially in my mother-in-law's attitude. In the chilly late autumn of suburban Boston, with Thanksgiving just a week away, our family story reaches a turning point. The superficial peace in this upper-middle-class neighborhood is about to be greatly disturbed. During our weekly Sunday church gatherings, seasonal events, and family celebrations, I always felt my mother-in-law's judgmental gaze. The way she looked down on my profession as a pharmacist, as if it were a fallback for someone who couldn't become a doctor. Her repeated comments about how my wedding was modest for our family standards. And most painfully, her various remarks describing Ryan as the troublesome child because of his allergies. But we're family. My husband consoles me, saying, "That's just Mom's way of showing love." Indeed, she raised him as an only son with great care, molding him into a successful professional. I can understand those feelings. Lately, though, her attitude has become more blatant. The difference in how she treats the grandchildren has become unbearable to watch. At church gatherings, she lauds only Samantha in front of everyone. In family photos, she positions Ryan at the edge. On social media, she only posts pictures with Samantha. In our 8 years of marriage, my relationship with my mother-in-law was never particularly good. Still, recent events have far exceeded my imagination. Looking back, I sense something off about her attitude since our wedding preparations. "Mary, you wanted to become a doctor, didn't you? But had to settle for being a pharmacist." During the wedding reception planning, she casually but deliberately threw such hurtful words at me. In our family, we usually have more lavish weddings. But if that's what you want. I still vividly remember her heavy sigh as she said those words. At church gatherings, I was always forced into an awkward position. My mother-in-law would enthusiastically introduce Catherine and Samantha to her friends. But Ryan and I might as well have been invisible. Sometimes, she'd deliberately change her tone and dismissively introduce us as, "Oh yes, this is my second son's wife and their child." The Christmas party incident was particularly painful. Last year, when the Anderson family photos were to be displayed in the church hall, the picture mother-in-law chose prominently featured Catherine and Samantha's smiling faces. As for us, we were barely visible in a corner. Oh my, wasn't there a better photo? Ryan looks so gloomy in this one. I'll never forget how Ryan's shoulders trembled at his grandmother's words. The disparity in birthday presents also became more obvious over time. Last month, Samantha received the latest tablet for her birthday. Meanwhile, Ryan got a set of used picture books. The difference was clear to everyone. Social media was the same story. Martha's Facebook overflowed with photos of Samantha, piano recitals, horseback riding lessons, swimming competitions. But not a single photo from Ryan's school performances ever made it to her feed. Then James had to leave for a business trip, an important meeting in Chicago. He wouldn't be back until Sunday night. "Will you try to get along with Mom?" he asked the night before his departure, holding my hand. His eyes mixed with apology and something like resignation. The next day, I received an unexpected call from Martha. "Would you come for dinner tomorrow? I have something important to discuss." Her voice lacked its usual arrogance. Instead, there was something urgent about it. When I asked, "Can I bring Ryan?" she replied, "Yes, of course." Those words gave me a glimmer of hope. Maybe. My heart stirred at the expectation in Ryan's eyes. The next day, we prepared with utmost care. We bought Martha's favorite apple pie from Whole Foods. Ryan wore his navy blazer with an ivory shirt. My heart ached watching him repeatedly adjust his collar in the car, asking, "Do you think Grandma will be happy?" We arrived at Martha's house at exactly 6 p.m. Opening the door, we were greeted by the aroma of a butterball turkey. The savory smell of stovetop dressing and the sweet-tart scent of ocean spray cranberry sauce, a traditional Thanksgiving feast, had been prepared. Led into the living room, we noticed something off right away. The elegantly set dining table. However, only 5 places were set. There was no place for Ryan. "Oh, I forgot." Martha's voice carried something intentional about it. "Ryan, you'll eat on the sofa in the living room." The room's atmosphere froze at those words. Samantha wore a confused expression. Then came the crushing statement. "Only my daughter's child is my real grandchild, so your son doesn't need a seat." It was as if time stood still. Tears glistened in Ryan's eyes as his small body trembled. Catherine turned away while Samantha couldn't hide her shock. At that moment, something snapped inside me definitively. "Ryan, we're leaving." I stood up, taking my son's small hand. The apple pie we'd brought remained untouched on the table. Even after getting into the car, we remained silent for a while. Looking in the rearview mirror, I saw tears I couldn't hold back welling in my eyes. On the drive home, Ryan didn't say a word. I just felt his grip on my arm gradually tightening. When we got home, the clock showed 7:15 p.m. The garage door's closing sound seemed unusually loud. The silence after cutting the engine only highlighted our heartache. "Mom." Ryan's voice trembled. His small body curled up in the passenger seat looked ready to crumble. "It's okay, Ryan. Let's stay together tonight." As we entered through the front door, Ryan burst into tears. His cries tore at my heart. Is it my fault? Did I do something to make Grandma hate me?" I immediately hugged Ryan tightly as he spoke between sobs. "No, you've done nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing." Walking to the living room sofa, I struggled to maintain my composure. But with each tremor of my son's small body, my anger grew. "Ryan, wait here a moment." I headed to the kitchen and started making hot cocoa. I took marshmallows from the cupboard and poured the drink into his favorite blue mug. All the while, I could hear faint sobbing from the living room. I fetched the soft star-patterned blanket James had bought for Christmas and gently draped it over our son's shoulders. "Here's your hot cocoa. Extra marshmallows." Ryan nodded slightly, timidly reaching for the mug. His gesture made my heart clench again. "Ryan, is it okay if we tell Dad about what happened today?" After thinking for a moment, Ryan gave a small nod. "Yes, but what if Dad gets angry?" "Dad will definitely be on your side, Ryan. Because we're family." As I said those words, I took out my cell phone. James answered immediately when I called. "Mary? What's wrong? At this hour?" Worry immediately colored my husband's voice from his Chicago hotel room. "James, today, at your mother's house." I explained the events one by one, trying to stay as calm as possible. The seating arrangement, how Ryan was treated, and Martha's words. As I explained, I could hear my husband's breathing becoming heavier on the other end. "I can't believe this." His voice mixed with anger and sadness. "I'm coming home right away. I'll book a flight now." "But your important meeting tomorrow." "Family comes first." "I'll contact my boss right away." I could hear him typing on his computer through the phone. "Mary, Mother's behavior is absolutely unacceptable. I'll definitely have a proper talk with her. But for now, please take care of Ryan." "Yes, I understand. Can I talk to Ryan?" When I handed the phone to Ryan, he took it with an anxious expression. "Ryan, listen. Dad is so proud of you. You're our precious son. I'll definitely be home tomorrow, okay?" At his father's words, tears welled up in Ryan's eyes again. But these seemed like a different kind of tears. After the call, I took Ryan up to the second-floor bedroom. Tonight, we extended toothbrushing time a bit. I helped him button his pajamas more carefully than usual. "Would you like to sleep in Mom's room tonight?" Ryan nodded silently. Lying beside my son in bed, I gently stroked his hair. Soon, exhausted, Ryan's breathing settled into the rhythm of sleep. In the night's quietness, I reflected on the day's events. Looking at my sleeping son's face, I contemplated our next steps. The relationship with Martha, the nature of family, and above all, protecting my precious son's heart. Just after midnight, another message arrived from James. Got a ticket on the earliest flight tomorrow. I'll be home by morning. We'll definitely talk with Mother. As I replied, I renewed my determination. This wasn't just a family quarrel. It was about our son's heart and our family bonds. Lying in bed, I recalled my husband's words. We'll definitely work this out. Supported by those words, I gradually drifted off to sleep. At 7 in the morning, the doorbell rang. Ryan was still asleep. I hurriedly went downstairs and opened the door. There stood Martha. But this wasn't the Martha I knew, with her perfect makeup and hair. Her bare face showed deep fatigue, her hair was disheveled, and her hands trembled slightly. Mary. I need to talk. Her voice held none of yesterday's arrogance. Please, come in. As I led her to the living room, I battled complex emotions. Anger, distrust, and something like sadness. Would you like some coffee? Thank you. Martha's voice was thin and shaky. Only the coffee maker's sound broke the heavy atmosphere. When I returned to the living room with 2 mugs on a tray, Martha was staring blankly out the window. Her profile showed deep exhaustion. As I offered the coffee, Martha carefully took the mug with both hands. Her hands were still shaking. I'm sorry. The first words were a formal apology. I was wrong. Those words had a certain hesitation. It seemed there was something else she couldn't yet say. I silently waited for her next words. The clock's second hand seemed unusually loud. Suddenly, Martha broke down crying. I can't take it anymore. With those words, Martha's confession began. I'm about to lose everything. In a trembling voice, Martha started speaking. Since losing her husband 2 years ago, financial problems had gradually become more serious. Medical bills had depleted their savings, and credit card payments were falling behind. I can't afford the retirement home entry fee, but I couldn't tell anyone. Benchmark Senior Living, the luxury retirement home. $300,000 entry fee, $5,000 monthly. This was the retirement home Martha had dreamed of. After Catherine's divorce, I had to support them financially. Samantha's private school tuition too. I felt mixed emotions watching Martha speak through tears. But why yesterday? At my question, Martha sighed deeply. The retirement home contract deadline was approaching. I panicked. Out of pride and desperation, I acted unreasonably, especially toward Ryan. Her voice broke off there, and she began crying more intensely. What horrible things I've done to Ryan. It's unforgivable. Just then, we heard small footsteps coming down the stairs. Grandma. Ryan's voice froze the room's atmosphere. Martha slowly raised her face. Tears were still visible on her makeup-free face. Ryan. I'm so sorry for what I said yesterday. Martha rose on shaking legs and knelt before Ryan. I'm truly, truly sorry. Grandma was wrong. Ryan hesitantly approached Martha. Can you forgive me? At that moment, we heard the front door open. Mary. Ryan. It was James's voice. He must have caught an earlier flight than planned. James rushed into the living room and was speechless at the scene before him, his mother kneeling on the floor, his wife in tears, and his son with an anxious expression. Mom, what's happening? A long conversation followed. Martha's financial situation, the reasons for her past behavior, and most importantly, the family's future. James listened quietly but firmly. Why didn't you come to us sooner? I was ashamed, and I didn't want to burden you. We're family. We could have figured something out together. At those words, Martha began crying again. But these tears seemed different. Let's discuss the future as a family, I added, and James nodded. Yes. But first. Martha turned to Ryan again. Ryan, would you like to have breakfast with Grandma? I could make your favorite pancakes. After a slight hesitation, Ryan gave a small nod. 6 months have passed since then. In the living room flooded with spring sunlight, I'm looking through a photo album. A recent family photo shows Martha with a much softer expression. Many things have changed since that day. First, Martha began regular counseling. It's been a good opportunity to reassess my values, she now says with a gentle smile. She abandoned the luxury retirement home plan, choosing instead a modest but comfortable lifestyle. Financially, James and Catherine discussed and created a new life plan. They rented out part of Martha's house, securing a stable income source. Though modest, they're now living steadily. I never needed to keep up appearances, Martha said recently while having tea on the porch. Those words carried deep insight. The biggest change has been in her relationship with her grandchildren. We now have monthly family dinners. Everyone has a place at the table, and Martha shows equal love to both grandchildren. Ryan, that drawing is wonderful. Samantha, you've practiced piano so hard. Her voice praising both grandchildren shows no trace of the former discrimination. Martha has also started volunteering with local parenting support groups. Using her experience, she hosts discussions about grandparent-grandchild relationships. Her activities are highly regarded in the community. I've found new meaning in life's final chapter. She participates in church activities differently now too. Not for appearance or formality, but with genuine faith and service. Her relationship with Catherine has also changed. Free from excessive expectations and financial dependence, they've built a healthier mother-daughter relationship. Above all, our family bonds have deepened. Mary, I'm so glad to have you, Martha told me recently. Those words were genuine. Tonight, we're busy preparing for Christmas dinner. This year, Martha herself suggested a modest but heartfelt homemade dinner. Grandma, is this okay? In the kitchen, Ryan and Samantha are making cookies with Martha. Watching the three of them laugh together with flour-dusted faces brings me deep relief. The table is softly lit with places for everyone. At each seat is a handmade name card, each written with care in Martha's neat handwriting, filled with love. "This is what real family means," Martha said softly. Outside, light snow had begun to fall. Inside, the warm air was filled with the aroma of turkey and cookies. The expensive gifts and lavish meals of the past have faded away. But what we've gained instead is far more valuable. Gratitude, compassion, and above all, genuine family bonds. Listening to the laughter coming from the kitchen, I smiled quietly to myself. Our family's story is about to begin a new chapter. One that will surely be filled with a warmer, different kind of light. "Mom, look." Ryan proudly showed me his tree-shaped cookie. Though slightly misshapen, that made it all the more endearing. "It's wonderful, Ryan. Everyone can smile now, my mother-in-law, the grandchildren, my husband, and me. This, I feel from the bottom of my heart, is what being a true family really means." Outside, the snow continued to fall quietly, as if blessing this peaceful moment.